The average time to recovery is about 2 years. Yet we all heal from a broken heart at our own pace, and there's really no universal timeline. Some take 6 months, while others are going to take 6 years. But after working with hundreds of men, the universal truth is that while some take longer to recover, the steps to recovery, they're almost identical. This makes me beg the real question. What actually matters more in recovery? The steps that we take or those that we avoid? Or maybe the real problem is that we're taking the wrong steps, listening to the wrong people, impeding our progress under the disguise of sympathy. Maybe it's not the absence of effort that's the issue. Maybe it's the presence of misdirected effort that keeps us stuck. Are we staying in pain because we're listening to the wrong advice and we're doing the wrong things? Here's what I mean. I work with men that have a broken heart. That's it. That's my area of research, my specialty. Guys often come to me and they ask what they need to do to get over their ex, but there's a fundamental flaw in their question because it's still about their ex. What you really need to do is you need to start asking how to get a better life. There's really nothing more anxiety-provoking than a broken heart. And when we're anxious, we give in to the wants over our needs. We choose comfort over growth, and we numb ourselves rather than act while convincing ourselves that if we're just reading or watching something that has to do with a breakup, it's still healing when it's really just junk food for the soul. We talk about how tired we are, how no one's checking in on us, about how hard it is to be a man and still show emotion. We talk about how we're supposed to be strong, stoic, unfazed. We vent instead. We unload, we hint at the pain, hoping that someone is going to tell us that it's okay to fall apart. And to be fair, it's human. You're allowed to feel fucked up. But there comes a point where you're just doing yourself harm. There's a time when the shit just gets old and this emotional junk food turns into some kind of emotional porn addiction. It's no longer any good. And when someone begins saying to get over her, what they're really doing is just being nice, because get over her is the nice way or the politically correct way of saying that they're sick of hearing about your shit. You're getting bad advice from people that you trust are the experts. It's the coaches who keep you talking without challenging you that make this shit worse. Constant complaining doesn't just keep you stuck, it drags you down even further. It's just bad form. It's like a batting coach watching you swing like shit, validating your swing. You keep swinging the same broken way, thinking that you're making progress when you're just perfecting failure. You don't get better, you get worse. You lock in the wrong mechanics and every rep makes the bad habit stronger. Same thing here. Keep rehearsing pain without correction and all you're doing is reinforcing your worst patterns. The more you dwell on the pain without acting, the worse that it's going to feel because it reinforces the helplessness. It wires your brain to identify the problem instead of solving it. Continue that and you're just not going through a breakup. You're letting it define you. It tricks you into thinking that venting, that it equals action. That expression is the same as progress, but it's not by a long shot. It just keeps you in the same emotional rhythm that made you miserable in the first place. It's like listening to a sad song when you want to stay sad. You know that is making it worse, but you hit play anyways. That's not healing, that's habit. I know what I'm saying isn't popular, and there's a lot of coaches out there that confuse emotional expression with actual progress. They talk a big game about your pain instead of your healing, but that's what it is. Talk. They become masters at describing your wound, but they're too chicken shit to get their hands dirty. So they keep you stuck recycling your pain over and over because it's easier to chase views on TikTok than to challenge you by telling you the truth. Truth doesn't care about feelings, no political correctness, and people worth believing, they're the ones that tell you what you don't want to hear. Pandering to what you want to hear is not coaching. It's playing to an algorithm that doesn't care about your needs, but feeds to your wants. And when a coach is more loyal to an algorithm than to your progress, then what you got isn't a coach. It's just content. Content that hands you sympathy like it's a solution, but all the sympathy in the world won't help unless you begin taking control of your life. No amount of sympathy replaces a single act of progress, and babysitting your pain with soft reassurances, it only delays the very progress that they claim to be building. Feeling seen isn't the same as moving forward. One's a temporary fix, the other's a permanent step to a greater solution than just getting over your broken heart. You say you want to get better, but you've gotten comfortable in the stock and seduced by how good it feels to be understood, calling it progress while waiting for time to heal you. The more I do this, the more I've come to realize that giving it time can also cause harm. And listening to the wrong advice because it's politically correct or convenient, it hinders your progress. So yes, sometimes listening to the wrong advice will hinder your recovery, even if it's from someone with millions of views on their channel. It doesn't make them right or more knowledgeable, just more popular. Then there's others that'll say to give it time, but that's a theory that's never been proven. And it hasn't been proven because it isn't true. And you can't prove a lie. Just like 101 will never be 4, Time alone will never equal healing because it doesn't, because it can't. Waiting is healing just about as much as letting time pass is progress. Giving it time is a lie, a trap, a mistake that's now been debunked because our understanding of grief, it's evolved. The idea that time alone, that it heals, it's outdated. There are things that you can do to let go of this pain, but we choose not to because we prefer doing what feels safe because the idea of advancing is just terrifying. It's saying goodbye to her and your old self. It's ego death, but you're saying goodbye to someone that's already left. It's like being the last one in a theater. It's lonely. But moving on means stepping out of that isolation and into motion. And motion, now that's progress. There's a difference between letting time pass and using time to your advantage. Surrender to your circumstances, embrace your future. Don't wait for time to pass to start over. And don't start over either. Starting over, now that's going back to square one. A crisis wasted. You got to think differently because while time may move in a straight line, life doesn't. Growth happens in parallel if you act. You can grieve and train, hurt and rebuild, mourn and move forward. And you'll soon start having fun while bringing meaning to your life. Don't listen to the 90% who still believe that grief based on a timer. It doesn't. Time moves in a straight line, but your life doesn't have to. Growth doesn't wait its turn. It happens when you move. It's about finding the carpool lane while everyone else is stuck staring at the brake lights. That's parallel. That's power. That's how you move while the world awaits. So how do you move on? You do the thing that you once thought it was impossible. You bypass the grief by being so busy building a better life. You do that and you'll have fun doing it. You're stuck today because it's easier to hear about her than it is to hear about you because that would imply that you're alone. Develop yourself. Grow, run, dress, live, and speak your mind because nothing is worse than being censored. Give yourself that permission. And to learn more about my coaching, go to the link in the comment section underneath. Schedule a consultation. I'll have you feeling better, and while at it, join our Facebook group. I'm very active in it. It's time to get real answers rather than sympathy. And as mentioned, the world is noticing. The New York Times just featured me as a divorce coach for men because it works. So click on the link in the comment section underneath. Thank you very much.